today?
Well, now I'm going to do some soldering. You can see we're up to date with our soldering iron.
That's a classic. I had one of those in the 60s.
No, no, I just bought it. It's brand new.
Sure.
It has these dual lights on here, so you can really see in the dark.
Right. You're at twin headlights.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
I like the knurled molding on the hand grip.
It's beautiful. It's like such an astounding piece of equipment,
Yeah.
and it's built to last. It has some issues in the wire here somewhere.
Don't we all?
But as far as a solid thing is concerned, this is going to last forever. Anyway, that's just a showpiece, so I'm not going to dwell on that too long, nor am I going to electrocute myself.
Promise?
Not for live demos. Yeah, if you see me suddenly jumping back, you know what's happened.
Or not.
Yeah.
It's even worse.
What, you mean deadly silence?
Yes. There's a large thump and then no more talk.
Yeah. So anyway, I got these instructions yesterday. Dear Wayne, please can you solder up this circuit board?
Can you rotate them 90 degrees counterclockwise?
Rotate what?
Beautiful. Beauty.
So it's very simple. It's just as we get older, the hands don't work anymore, and we can't hold a wire to a soldering iron.
No, for sure.
So this is a person with a boat, and being a boat, of course, it has to be a nice job and survive many hours underwater.
So all of those wires, all 5 of them are to be 26 inches long?
That's right.
Okay. So the rest of that's 2/3 of a meter, approximately.
Well, if I was to do the calculation, yeah, 26 inches. We got a measure tape over here.
Nice.
So it's all pretty straightforward. He even give me the wire and everything.
So classic solder job requires 3 hands, right?
Yeah. You mean the helping hands?
Yeah. It's so frustrating because you always need a 3rd hand for a solder job. Somebody to hold the work and then 2 hands for the solder and the gun. Or at least that's what I found in my experience.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, good. Thanks for reminding me. I do have the helping hand somewhere.
And you got brand new tape, brand new wire. What gauge? You using 16 gauge
This is
or 14?
yeah, this is 16.
Okay, good guess.
It is a good guess. Yeah.
So is it 120 volts or
I know it's just 12 volt.
12 volt DC? So 14 gauge, you can get a pretty good amperage through that.
Yeah, it's an electric boat.
Right.
It was just this part has been absent for many years in this project.
Really?
That's why I do these things, because people get kind of frustrated and disillusioned at the most simple processes.
So what do the terminals look like?
They're just little pins. You can see those.
So would a crimp work better on the pins, or is the solder the way to go? Is there a hole in the pins?
No hold. It's just I'm going to do it the old H&H way of winding the posts.
Oh, okay. You're just going to do a wraparound.
Yep.
And solder.
Yeah.
So there's no real stress on these connections.
Well, who knows? I mean, when a boat goes over, no one knows what happens, right?
No, but I mean, there's no mechanical vibration necessarily here. If these are kept fairly loose, there shouldn't be much tension on the solder joint.
I would hope so. I was kind of like thinking, well, as I always think, um, is how to make these almost indestructible.
Right. Of course.
So we got plus out there. So basically, I'd bind a post.
Yep. By which you're going to wrap around clockwise.
Which way?
Okay. As you were. Metric time every 10 hours.
Do we want the other camera view? Is that going to help?
I think if you could occasionally show us a close-up, it would help, if it's possible. Focus will get goofed.
Oh, I got a manual focus. I forgot.
There you go. I was going to say, turn it the other way.
No, I changed to manual focus because the automatic focus was becoming an issue.
Right. For sure. Absolutely.
But the Sony system is, just because it's fast, it doesn't mean it's fun.
No, I understand.
So yeah, these posts are very, very small compared to the size of the wire.
I'll tell you what, you get one going and done, we'll put you out of your misery. I'll take over.
Yeah. No, you can take over now because I've done all the explaining part, and now I can just do the actual process.
All right.
Yeah, I will.
I hear voices.
Oh,
I hear.
that's my son. He says, "Will I make a kale smoothie?"
Wow.
Can you believe it?
Kale smoothie. I'm going to step back from that. Discretion is the greater part of valor. Okay, well, I'll get going on this little conversation here.
You don't
Go
know how much ice cream I dump in that kale smoothie to get them to drink it, right?
Oh, geez. You mean it's an ice cream smoothie with a kale accent?
They're actually, I like it. I put everything in there. But the kale is definitely a big one.
Kale is spiky lettuce.
I like looking at the brain and how it functions.
All right.
So
kale and hardy.
Yeah, just the what do they call it? Manganese.
Oh, very good. Nice. Good choice.
Yeah, so that's all it is. Learning how to input more manganese, and of course it's also the availability of the freshness of kale. But kale is pretty indestructible. You can bake it and cook it and do all these other things, and it's still going strong.
Yeah, even with the smoothie, it's going to fight back.
Yeah.
More like a roughie.
Yeah, it's kind of a roughie, but it's not grass. It could be wheatgrass, and that would be a little harder. They used to do that in Vancouver, right?
Right.
You go to the green bar and then wonder what hit you. He said, "Are you really drinking that stuff?"
Yes, really.
And then you're going to go, "What? Jogging?" Yeah, people are funny.
Sometimes. All right, I'm going to talk a bit here.
Yeah.
In consultation with my partner in crime, we wanted to talk about wiring of lights and sockets and getting the wiring correct. So this little 10-minute ditty is all about dealing with bulb sockets, lamp bulb sockets. And they have two connections, two screw connections. And they pass the power from the two-wire power cord into the bottom of the socket, where the bottom of the light bulb interacts with them. So it's important to know because effective 30 years ago, actually 35 years ago, it was decided that it was necessary to make plugs polarized. So in this case, a standard 120 volt plug as we all know by now, can only be put in the wall one way. So we have to line up which connection carries which amount of power and which wire gets connected to which. So this is a short description of how to wire 120 volt wire to one of these sets of terminals. One wire here and one wire there. Normally you find, when you disassemble your lamp, you find something that looks like this. This has a broken switch on it, so it's never going to light a lamp again. But inside is one of these. The first step is to get this out of that. You find on the outside there's a place where it says, you should be able to see this, it says press. So pressing that allows you to lift the bottom of the plate off. Now this is still on the cord, of course, in a normal lamp. Then you can push the guts out. So that's how you get one of these apart. You find the point where it says press, it's always beside the opening. Push it in and allows you to lever the top off. Anyway, inside, two connections. One of them looks like copper, and you can see it's in the center, and it's what touches the center of the bulb. The other connection is the threaded part. So the bulb uses the threading to actually complete the circuit through the filament inside, or in this case, the LEDs. So the two connections are copper in the center and a steel external part. And this one exactly the same. The copper is not obvious on this camera, but there it is in the center. It contacts the center pin again, and the outside is steel. So one of the reasonings behind polarized power plugs was to keep the dangerous power away from you. And the dangerous power is least accessible on that pin in the center. So that is where the so-called hot power goes. The second wire connects to this through one of the terminals, and it is the neutral. So you can get shocked by the hot, but you can't get shocked by the neutral. You can also get shocked by contacting both at the same time if they're wired in. So you'd have to take two wires to do damage to yourself or one wire. You'd have to short out the two contacts with a large fat thumb when the switch was on in order to do damage. How can you tell them apart? Well, the easy way is one of the contacts is brown. The other contact screw is silver. The silver screw runs the power to the rim, to the threaded part. The copper part runs the power to the center pin. So the wisdom is the hot wire goes at the copper screw, and the neutral wire goes to the steel. And you can test this by bringing in my multimeter. It allows me to check contacts. Continuity, it's called. I set it here. If I touch the wires together, I get a beep.
Ow, that's loud.
Good. Supposed to be. So we can test any two wires to make sure they're in contact. I can put a wire on the copper here and touch it to the outside, and I get nothing. If I hold that wire on the copper and I touch the center, I get the beep. Just proof positive that the copper wire goes to the center. Hang on, copper. Just holding on with my finger. Similarly, the steel wire, I put the one pin there, and I touch the center. Trying to do this on camera while I do it is incredibly frustrating. Nothing.
You need another pair of hands, right?
Yes, third hands, exactly. Just proof positive, the copper wire goes to the center and the steel wire goes to the rim. So in a socket,
Okay, I'm going to do some soldering here. While you're not there, where did Fred go? Or Bob?
yeah, whoever, one of them. So the steel is neutral and the copper is hot. And those are the screws. Okay. So how do you know which wire on this cord is the hot wire? Well, it'll be the wire that comes from the narrow pin. Narrow pin equals hot. Fat pit equals neutral. Great, you say. How do I know which one is at the end of the wires I'm going to connect? Well, from the cord,
Because there's a correct tool for everything, isn't that what it is?
there is a correct tool for everything. This isn't it, but it'll do. I've had to completely rebuild that stripper twice. It's well worth the trouble. I actually ended up using a part from a VCR in order to get the connectors to stay on. So I have my contacts, I have my plug, and I have my two wires. So I want to figure out which one is the hot, which is the narrow plug. So using a multimeter again.
Not the bar joke.
The which?
Going to the bar joke.
No.
Oh.
Okay, so I've got the narrow pin for one connector. This wire shows continuity. So this wire is the hot. So, a little tape. I'm going to put the problem, Wayne, is I just don't have enough stuff in my shop. The number of things I need are n+1, where n are the number of things I have. I need bright colored tape.
Well, isn't Santa Claus coming over sometime?
Yeah, but we want to get this done before the end of the video. I wouldn't mind just getting, I'll use a zip tie. So it's temporary. I'm just going to put a zip tie on this, a white one. So the zip tie is the hot, just so we know. So I have my two connections. The other one must be the neutral. So the hot goes to the copper. So I find the copper wire and a flathead screwdriver. And I wrap it around clockwise, nibble loop, because when you tighten the screw clockwise and the wires around it clockwise, it'll tighten it. If you do it the opposite way, it won't.
You know how much time I spend looking for a screwdriver?
Yeah, I'll swap you screwdrivers for some yellow tape.
Yellow tape. Well, you have my yellow tape, it's going to be kind of gooey
All right. I don't want to know why.
because it goes bad over time.
Oh, I see. You don't use yellow tape? I have, what I've done on my desk, I have a cutting board integral to the desk, and I've actually got a piece of yellow tape on it. So all I do is when I need a little piece of yellow tape, I cut a piece off that's been sticking there for a year, and you just peel it off and use it. So I've got a foot of it just across the bottom. Anyway, it's a stupid story. So there we go. We have the white wire, which we know is hot, to the copper. Sorry, I'm doing this all wrong. We have the hot wire, because it's got the zip tie on it, to the copper wire, copper screw, contacting the center. We have the other wire to the steel wire, to the steel screw coming to the frame. So this is safely wired. That's according to code, which means when we look at the other end, the narrow prong of the plug carrying the hot is connected to the copper, and the fat one carrying the neutral is connected to the steel. So that's basically it. That's the safe way to wire one of these sockets. However, it is possible that you have an old lamp that is much beloved, as do I. And this has two prongs which are the same size. So in this case, you're liberated. You don't have to worry about which way you wire it. You can do it one way or the other and nobody cares. However, you won't know which way to plug it into the wall because it's ambidextrous. It can go in either way. So what I recommend is you put a piece of tape, if only I had colored tape, he said wistfully, on the side that you wanted so that your hot is on the left, or your neutral is on the left, and your hot is on the right, because the wide connection, when you look at a socket, such as these, yeah, you will see the fat one is on the left, always to the left of the ground wire connection. So I would mark the top, whichever way you've decided, so that you've got the neutral on the left. I would put a mark here. Jeez, nowhere near the camera.
Yeah, what am I looking at really?
Yes, what are you looking at really? I would put a mark on the top. I'm gonna fill this one in red using my roller ball. So I know I'm gonna wire so that this is always on the left. And that way, I put the hot on the wire to the right by checking with a multimeter. This is the safe way to put it in. If you put it in the other way, you've reversed the polarity on the socket. That's the only problem with an older lamp. So you have to judge the merit so that you're safely wired. So, picture number 2.
Just try it in England. It works much better when you get
They've also got a fuse in the socket.
well, you know when you get 240 volts coming through the wire, it tells you something.
It really, it's a shortcut to heaven, I think.
Yeah, it's a sort of thank God moment for sure.
Yep. So when you would look at a plug with 2 pins, fat pin's on the left, narrow pin is on the right, because your socket looks like this.
And then to add to the confusion, the wall socket is often upside down.
The wall socket should not be upside down. All electricians wire it with the ground plug to the down. Wall socket should not be upside down.
And in England, they put it on the top.
Well, in England, they do all sorts of unusual things.
Oh, and we started first.
That's true. That is true. I will grant you that piece of wisdom. So the narrow pin will be the hot. This is the copper wire. Copper screw. This is the steel. And this is your socket.
I still get confused about the light switch. Which way should the light switch go?
Depends on whether you want all the magic pixies to come out or not.
No, but it's you turn on the light switch as you're falling down to the ground, or you turn on the light switch because you want to turn the light on.
That's true too. That's another problem. I just realized how poor my illustration is.
Start again.
No harm.
So I soldered 2 wires.
Good.
I'll get through this.
We all will.
26 inches, he said. Do you think 26 inches is plus or minus a few inches? Or is it dead on?
Hopefully it's not dead on.
I always say 26 inches and then a few kinks, right?
Yes. Plus or minus. Plus or moins. En français.
Yeah. Nothing worse than not being able to reach.
Yes. Just slightly short.
Just pull on it, it'll work.
Yep.
These are organic wires. They stretch.
Yes. Well, that one's better. So hot is in red. Hot. And hot. And these are connected.
So
Look at that.
why is a black wire hot and a white wire is cold?
Because black means burnt and white means ice and snow. Try me with a tricky question.
Good way to remember it.
Well, and you know, it's worse than that because some people use red and blue and some people use green and black. I mean, or green for neutral. There doesn't seem to be any standards that I recognize for coloration.
Well, always the warmer color was, was the idea.
Yep.
So black isn't particularly warm. It's kind of like darkness.
Yes.
So I can confuse you with these things, but in England we didn't have that issue because we'd always have a warmer color for the high temperature of the power.
Right.
So you can understand how confused I am coming to this country.
Oh yeah.
There I am. I can gaze into a circuit box for hours and question myself, am I going to the left or the right?
You remember all the jokes about Lucas Electrics and cars?
No.
Lucas, Prince of Darkness. Oh, we had a 1962 Jaguar. My father bought it from my uncle who lived in England and went to wherever the Jag factory was and watched them assemble it. I think it was Coventry.
Oh, right.
And anyway, it was 1966 when he decided he wanted a Mercedes instead, this being my uncle. So he sold my poor dad this ridiculous Jaguar Saloon. Fastest car me and my brother ever drove. Unbelievably quick. But we used to buy fuses by the gross. I would change them while we were driving. The headlights would go out. I was trained to get under the dash with a new fuse and pop it in without electrocuting myself. because we went through them so often. It was an amazing car. My brother was old enough to have a driver's license, and so he took the damn thing out on the Trans-Canada Highway on the way to Quebec City with me, and we lost courage at 150 miles an hour. There was RPMs left to go. What an extraordinary beast.
That sounds terrifying.
Oh, it was wonderful. Red leather seats with walnut fold-down tables in the back, 5-speed overdrive, wire wheels, the same engine as the Jag E-Type, 3.8 liters. It was just an extraordinary piece of equipment. It was madness. My father was a Chev guy. All of a sudden he had a Jaguar. It was insane.
Young and reckless.
Totally. I learned to drive on that car.
Yeah, VW was me. It was like a agricultural tractor.
I'm going to stop writing notes. They're just pointless. That was the best picture by far.
Yeah, that looks good. I think we learned something today. At least I did.
Never trust me with pen and pencil. It's so true. Actually, I'm going to just do a little antique show and tell here while you solder away here. I have this beautiful lamp, and I'm no joking, seriously in love with it. It's called a pagoda lamp, and it's from the 50s. And let me just back the camera off here. I'm using one of your IKEA lamps as a camera stand.
That works.
It does. It works quite well. I'm just going to bring this spotlight out and put some more light on this. And I'm going to swivel this up. I hope I can get far enough away to see it. It's a pagoda lamp.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the amazing thing is there's actually no wad of wool down here. What looks like a big piece of wool is not there. It's just a shadow. I'll make it go away.
I like the piece of wool. What's wrong with that?
I know, it's wonderful. It's virtual wool. But look at this. Look at the economy of construction of this lamp. Look at this wonderful patination, this ridiculous design on the.
It's like Fresno or something.
Yeah, it's like oilskin. I got too much light on it here. There. Now you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't this gorgeous?
Hmm.
And they've got it sewn on with some sort of thin leather, like an old-fashioned shoelace material. And this is onion skin. I must find out how to clean it because I've got some more stuff like this. But that removes, then you've got the cylinder and you've got the socket down on the bottom and there's a switch. But look at the legs. One single wire has been bent out. It doesn't even reach the socket. There's a gap there. It comes out here, goes straight and goes up to the top where it's tack welded to 2 rings. So there are 6 tack welds and that's all that holds the legs and the structure together. It's brilliant. Then there are 3 tack welded wires. I think they're spot welded into the base of the socket. That's it. It is gorgeous. So simple. And I found it. We were walking one morning. I found it on the side of the road. Somebody had just put it out there like the lamp of the IKEA commercial. Kick to the curb for the recyclers.
Nice.
There it is in its glory. Isn't that lovely?
Hmm.
Hang on, I'm going to have to get some other light out of here.
So you put an LED light in there?
Yeah, there's an LED light in it right now. It's just it's overwhelming it. I got to turn the auto brightness off. I think it's just way too bright in here. Hang on. Oh, that's going to make it worse.
You mean we can see your workshop from outer space?
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, it's one of my very favorite lamps. So simple. The economy of construction is just awesome. I have a couple more of these early 60 lamps. I'll drag another one over since we're doing show and tell where I am.
You're doing great. I'm going to carry on soldering here.
This one is quite different. Equally simplistic 50s style. This one is actually possible to date to 1961 because there's a design registration mark. This was actually came out of Montreal. And I don't know how to get the brightness down low enough. This is actually a lime green plastic frame. You won't be able to see it.
No, everything else is green except for the lamp.
Yeah, you can't. The camera is simply not doing it justice.
No, that's the white balance on the camera. It's trying to balance everything back to white again.
This is a very gentle green. It's well, the camera is ruining the vise. The vise is much darker blue and constant than that. But this has got a ridged outline. Let me turn it off. You may be able to see it there. That's what it looks like when it's not lit.
Right.
It's a lovely color. It's got 3 tapered legs with little brass tips on the end of them at the bottom. And this outside piece is a simple single molding from a factory in Montreal. I just love it. Super beautiful. Light.
Well, I'm kind of thinking we need these things like we have the outside lights in the garden, right, for the driveway.
Yes.
Why don't we make those designs for our driveway? You know, it's just like it would be easy enough.
Well, and there's part of it is the incredible battle with safety regulations that really inhibited people for letting stuff loose. I understand. I rebel against it, but I understand. I mean, I get the reasoning behind it.
No, imagine if I did the driveway with pagoda lights. It would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Oh, they're gorgeous. Now you could make a Skookum pagoda light because you only need LED. You could run conduit underneath. There's my 2 nuclear lamps.
Well, all the stuff in the yard is 12 volt.
Yep. So you still have to have all the protections against shorting, and you have to have your GFIs and everything else in case babies crawl over there and start poking young fingers into them. But
like with the Christmas lights?
yes. I mean, you can't get away from that. I understand that and I accept it, but there should be a means by which you can discreetly do that without ruining the aesthetic. Look at you go. Are you crimping them or are you just cutting the tips off?
I'm just cutting the thing off. I just wanted to make it as nice and smooth as possible.
For sure. That's beautiful. Nicely done.
Spider.
5-legged.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, and there's your 5th arm. Yeah.
Fifth arm? Have I got 5?
Yeah, you've got 5. Well done. The other end's open still? The other end's the wire. You haven't attached it. Obviously, you haven't attached anything at the other end.
No, it'll be on the boat.
Because what you could do is you could slip on some shrink wrap.
Yeah, you're right. I could.
And if you did that, then these terminals would all be shielded. Or somewhat shielded.
I keep just thinking of the Titanic, you know, when I do these things.
Oh, for sure. No.
The climax is to do the epoxy afterwards.
Yeah. Absolutely. I approve. I think that would be wonderful.
So a bit more soldering.
Is nuclear war about to happen? Is that what that is in the background?
What are you seeing?
No, I'm hearing a high-pitched whine. It's not my end.
Oh no, that's the soldering iron.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Did it stop now?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just the soldering iron. It's probably interfering with my sound mic. Everything's connected, as they say.
Yeah, that's true. Hold on.
Can't escape this. So, that one I
What?
can't get.
Now I know what those little nippers are for.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't know what they're for. It's just whatever tool works, right?
No, totally.
But it has, they have a this smoothness at the top, so you
Yeah.
can get right in on as close as possible.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
These are cheapies.
Oh, that's just a bonus.
The expensive ones, of course, are Japanese, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oxy. We're going to name brand here.
These are identical plugs. So they were both in use around the early 60s, and the style certainly says late 50s, early 60s. So the only thing that limits these from being, the only thing that keeps these things from being immortal is that the plastic will eventually dry out, because what makes plastic flexible is also fugitive. So eventually they dry out and they cake up and they just break off. But they've made it 60 years, so not bad, not bad. Good fun. So both of these are, I think they're both Canadian. In fact, this one has lost its sticker. There was a sticker right here. This one still got it. Hold it up and show it to you at an angle, and I think it's a BC Hydro sticker. Once upon a time, every appliance had to have a Hydro sticker on it. In fact, back in the 30s, BC Hydro had stores to sell you appliances. I can't read it either. But pretty emblematic of a product from the late 50s, early 60s, or even earlier.
We're becoming museums.
We are. I can't believe that somebody left this on the side of the road.
That's where life begins.
On the side of a road?
Yeah, that's the marketplace.
Jeez. God, you're just full of joy today. Oi. Now,
okay. I'm gonna glue this sucker.
yeah, when in doubt, eh?
Yeah, it's full of why is it so out of focus? It's just like this camera's. Come on, do something here. There we go. Okay. You know, when you get close up, you can't. The light doesn't get in anymore.
Right.
So what? I'm just gonna glue this up, just to make sure it's underwaterproof.
Makes total sense.
Also, it helps the wires if they get yanked on. At least they're going to be complete with the box. And of course, then this glue is good up to, what was it, about 200 degrees or something? It was pretty good. Under waterproof, salt proof.
No.
Yeah, that's the trouble with boats. We never know what's going to happen.
Okay, now I can read it.
What does that say?
Gilbert,
Oh.
Gilbert, Gilbert Products Incorporated, registered 1961. And it's a single blow molding.
Nice.
So it was done in a spin cast. Like they make 4-liter milk bottles, milk containers now. There it is. Gilbert Products Incorporated. Google that and see what comes up.
Disney.
Yeah, Disney. It's quite the job. It's quite the mold. The other true giveaway as to this being Canadian, by the way, is if you look in the base, we have Robertson screws holding the legs on. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't that
Yeah.
it looks like a pig.
Yeah, it does.
Anyway, here you go. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think we're done for today.
It was good. Entertaining. A lot of video to play with.
As always.
Bad jokes, odd lots, out of focus, too many fingers.
You know what? I put these videos up. The last one was like half an hour and people are still watching it.
Well, it's a good sign.
Yeah.
First million views, you know.
No, it's nowhere close.
Well,
it's only 5 people.
Still, got to start somewhere. Honestly. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing. That's our new theme song.
It talks for me. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. I
You know,
can't get the phone now. Here, enjoy some background music.
I bought this thing so many years ago. It's such a cool toy.
Yeah. Monotron.
I sent it to half a dozen people when I was so excited they had such a thing.
Yeah.
You know, of course, it's the size of a cigarette pack, so it's just.
Yeah.
But it just it has the VFO possibilities that are unbelievable.
Sure. That's hilarious. Oh, good for you. Wonders will never cease. Yeah, thanks. Happy birthday to you too.
I think
Very good.
we must be close to several birthdays after doing all this repair.
Oh God, if we do it long enough, we'll be close to everybody's birthday. Way it goes. And speaking of which, away I go. I gotta go.
Yeah, I got to go too. So.
All right, good, clean fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
We do a couple of dozen more. We're going to be not bad at this.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's totally harmless and useful.
Well, it can't be both. All right. See you later. Thanks.
Yeah. Bye for now.